How sweet it is. Check us down levels. To be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy. It's me, your buddy pal, HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. Yes, it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. We are live. We are here for what will be almost your almost daily nerdy evening talk show where we won't always, but because it's a special occasion on this Tuesday, we will of course pour yourselves just a little bit of
specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Because we got stuff to talk about. We need to chat. But we're gonna have a good time while we do it. Of course, if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shit. It's getting real. It's getting real, and we like I said, we're gonna talk about it. I realized I didn't have some things set up, but it's fine. We were gonna just bullshit our way through it like we normally do, because just because it's a Tuesday doesn't mean we won't do that. Of course, if there's things you guys want to talk about, make sure that you throw that down below in the chat. I feel like the picture looks really good today, and it hasn't looked like that in a while. I'm digging it. I'm enjoying it. But of course, without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend. It's me. Soy El Podemo. It is me. Good to see all you guys here tonight. It is Tuesday, and like I said, I want to shoot the breeze with you guys. Now, normally at this time, for one, I'd be getting ready for Daredevil, which I will be watching tonight. So this may not be as long of a stream as I wanted it to be, because I realized, oh, it's the Daredevil finale night. Two, usually I'm getting ready to watch Dave's Dimension at this time. And sometimes on occasion, General Kenobi's on at this time. Shout out to the great General, and I'll say hi to all of you guys in the chat in a second. But we are going to be doing this more often. So I'll cold open this one. We'll get straight to the point. So I said a couple times to a couple of you that offline, that this was the year, and this is the year that we are going full bore at all of it. And it's already April, which is freaking crazy to think it's already April. Now, what I've done to go full bore at all of this is not really much, to be honest, outside of a couple emails to a couple companies to be like, hey, how do I get on your like press list for announcement go out stuff? But that's about it. I haven't really done anything else different. So after consulting the boss, I'm going to be doing something different. And it's funny because T3, who's in the chat, when I went on his show last week, I was like, oh, I was thinking about doing that as well. So it may come across like I'm copying T3. If I'm going to copy anybody, it will be T3 and a couple other people. But I'm looking at T3, so I'm gonna shout you out. He's also got some stuff that I need. You got what I need. You got what I want. Anyway, so I was sitting back and I was thinking, I was like, all right, what can I do differently? I tried to reformat part of HeyArcher Live, wasn't fully working. It because I have too much fun talking to you guys. I have too much fun talking to you guys on HeyArcher Live. I have too much fun inviting you guys on so we can shoot the shit. And I don't want to like really stop doing that. And I feel like I've stopped inviting a lot of you guys on, not because I don't want you on, because I like want to make more. I wanted to be able to take the videos, clip up sections of the one show and make, YouTube shorts, release clips, all that kind of stuff. That was the goal. That was the goal in redoing HeyArcher Live into the format it's in now, which is at the end of the show, I will put the link out and you guys can join if you want to. Channel members. It doesn't work for me. It does not work for me. And I don't want it to work for me because I actually like when you guys are on and we are just bullshitting. That's what HeyArcher Live was about. That's what I want to continue doing. But at the same time, I have a responsibility to all of you. I have a responsibility to the rest of the nerd affiliated team. I have a responsibility to myself to be putting out more content on a regular basis. No excuses. So what's going to happen now is I'm not going to try to rewrite the freaking script. I'm not going to try to remake the wheel. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. If somebody like John Campia has to go live every single day to put out a show, to put out shorts, to get views, and to get subscribers, I don't know why I'm not doing anything close to that and expecting the same results. He's just the example I thought of. I'm not saying I'm trying to copy him specifically. But there's lots of other people I watch them almost every day. And they put out clips of their long form shows almost every day. Henry Resilient was usually in the chat too. Same thing. He goes live multiple times a week. Multiple clips go out. Boom. And yet I'm not doing that. So we're changing that. And we are going to be going live pretty much, I'm going to say at least 3 times a week, but it's probably going to be more like 4 on the occasion, maybe even 5. And my number one priority when I decided that this was going to be the move was I don't want to step on any toes. I respect the time slot. You guys know I'm old school. I like a show open. I like a show outro. I love a good theme song. But more importantly, I respect all of you as not just my friends, but my peers in YouTube. And some of you have shows that go on at a regular time slot every week, just like me. So, saying all that, at least 3 times a week, I'm going live. And at least 2 of those are going to be going live around 6:30, maybe 7 Eastern. I don't know why I said Eastern like that. I was saying it from a chest. Eastern. That's what we're doing. We're going to go live at least 3 days a week. Nerdy coffee at the moment, done. It just doesn't work. It's done. I'm tired of saying it'll come back at some point. It's done. And 6:30 or 7 Eastern, we're going to go live and we're going to talk our talk. We're going to talk nerd shop. We're going to talk reviews, all that fun stuff. I'll be able to take all of those things and make my shorts and make my clips, put them on TikTok just like just like I wanted to do. I'll be able to do all that stuff. And then Thursday night, HeyArcher Live will continue to be the show where we BS with each other. Channel members can come on, and then I'll put the link for everybody to join if you want to join on a random Thursday. So that's my idea. You guys let me know what you think. I don't want to step on Art G's time slot, John Kenobi's time slot, Dave's time slot. Actually, Kenobi goes twice. He goes live twice a week, so I don't want to step on both of those time slots. Marvelous Wrestling Collectibles. T3, if you start doing it again, I don't want to go on your time slot. Sorry, I keep belching. So I feel like 6:37. We'll give it a shot. And what's funny, in true transparency, I was like, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, what do you think I should do? And it said you should do a freaking podcast at like 5, between 5 and 7. Call it like Nerd Rush, and you just talk to the rush hour crowd. I said I can't do that. I got a job, but I'll meet you at 6:30. Now, will we create a whole new show as far as name goes? I don't think so, because it's going to get too confusing. Apparently, it's already confusing. I'm not knocking anybody. One of the things with like marketing and not finance, marketing and business development and all sorts of things, a lot of people tend to overthink things and don't look at like what's in front of them. So like there's times where people are like, oh yeah, it's youtube.com/ like HeyArcher, or it's HeyArcher on YouTube. So if I start making all these other like names of shows, it's going to only further confuse things. So I'm just going to leave it as HeyArcher Live. We'll go live multiple times a week. And in the absolute worst case scenario, we will at least be here every Thursday, 8:15 p.m. on youtube.com/nerd affiliated. So that's where we're going to go. That's what we're going to do. Don't step on any toes. I don't run against anybody else's programming. And I get to do more work on YouTube, which is what the goal is. To put the work in here. We grow this community. We grow this channel. We do the damn thing. It's my thought. Now, there's somebody else that does go live at this time. And by this time, I don't mean like what I'm doing right now. This is an exception to the rule. But if there's anybody else that normally goes live at like 6:30 or 7, that runs in the inner circle, the circle of trust, and I'm just forgetting at the moment. 1, I apologize. 2, let me know. Take a drink for effect.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
So now I will go to the chat, see what you guys think, and then we're going to roll from there. And we'll do the damn thing. We'll do it. Ultra Carta in the house. Good to see you. I know, I surprised all of you guys. Since Ed from Rebels, Reptiles, and Games didn't have a live last Sunday, I'll ask him if there's a live this Sunday for you to join. Don't ask him to do it for me. Like I said, when I'm ready to join his stream, I will message and I'll do all that stuff. Marsha in the house. Good to see you. On this day, I see clearly. Oh, the Edge song. Yep. Lurk mode, outer dimensions. It could be Dre. It could be Dave. It could be anybody. Who knows? Good to see you. JB in the house as well. Good to see you. Everybody saying hi to each other. You done fucked up. Nerd affiliated on Daredevil night. Yeah, I know. A weird option came up just now when I was clicking on your thing. What was that? It was like Avatar or something. I don't know what that option was. I was trying to click it again. That's why I kept clicking your name. Tony in the house. Good to see you. Rolando in the house. Good to see you. We're saying hi to each other. Rambling Nerd in the house. There you go. Good to see you. Dave's Dimension in the house. Good to see you. Eastern. Did you burn the coffee pot? Come on. My homie. There you go. The nerd drive home. There you go. CS Archer is good people respecting the fam. Yeah. This YouTube game, it's freaking mafia rules. You got your territory. I'm not trying to cross your territory. Because the only way we all grow is if we help each other. The only way that we get better is if we help each other. And that's, like I said, I respect the time slot. If somebody has been streaming consistently, putting in the work in at a certain time slot, if I am creating a new time slot for myself, the goal is not to overstep into somebody else's time slot. Pretty simple. I do not expect the same courtesy in return, so don't ever think that. That's just my own mental illness. K-Walk Comedy in the house. Good to see you. T3 says, I think I'm going to go live every other week. Yeah. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy. That's why I'm not going to commit to doing this every single day at the same time every day, because it's not my job. And I think that's something that a lot of times we forget when we set challenges for ourselves when it comes to doing the content creation, is we're like, I'm going to try to mirror what works that somebody else is doing, but we don't necessarily know the other person's situation, right? So there are people that make a lot of content. They put in a lot of work. Maybe they don't have two jobs. Maybe they don't have another person. Maybe they have, whatever the situation is, they have more time in the day. I don't know. But do what works for your situation. And right now, I can't do it every day. T3, don't beat yourself up for not being able to do it every week. The point is, all we got to do is put the content out to the best of our ability. If we don't try, we're not going to get anywhere. Tony in the house. I think I said hi, but I'll say hi again. Creativity in the house. Good to see you. So you're going to do these 4 or 5 hour Henry streams. I cannot do. I cannot. I respect to Henry Resilient. That dude works hard. Henry Resilient out here working hard. Yeah, streaming 4 or 5 hours. I wish I could stream for 4 or 5 hours. I do. And in the future, if this ends up becoming my actual job, if I somehow win that lottery ticket, I will stream for 4 or 5 hours a day. I'm not saying that that's why he does it. For me, that's what I'm saying. For me. I was talking to somebody, I won't say the name, but I was talking to somebody this week, and we were talking about somebody else. You guys know I like to talk shit, but what am I, a bonchinchera? I always forget how to say it. Bonchinchera. I guess I will be a bonchinchero, since I'm a guy. Gossiper. I was talking to somebody and I said, people, how do I phrase this? Something that a lot of us have got used to saying over the years is, I'm not trying to be blank. A lot of us over the years have said, and I'm guilty as well, I have said, I'm not trying to be a Joe Rogan. I'm not trying to make money doing this, all this stuff. I think a lot of us say it because we almost think it's an out, or it's like a comfortable thing. It's a comfortable spot to be in, to say, this is my hobby, and if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But my 2025 goal here is I'm destroying that mindset. Like, I do want to make a run at this. I've been doing this for a long time. A lot of you have been doing this for a long time. And I'm telling all of you, it's okay to say out loud, I want to be successful at doing this. It is okay to say that. All of you should be comfortable saying that. All of you should strive for that. Man Collects in the house, good to see you. I want every single toy hunter in this chat with a YouTube channel, with a podcast. I want every toy hunter to say, my occupation is that I get on my freaking phone, I go to 30 Walmarts a day, I have a good time doing it, and I can pay my bills. That's what you should all be striving to say. And it's okay to say that. Team Jugs in the house. Yeah. By the way, shout out to his candles. I went through that thing like 2 weeks because I was burning that thing for 8 hours a day, all day. I'm going to order some more, and you guys should too. Shout out to Team Jugs. Shout out to Man Collects. I think I said that. I don't remember. T3 said it's tough to do it every day, honestly, between trying to toy hunt content and family life. 1,000%. 1,000%. But that's why I think that it's okay to be like, I really do want this to work. I do. And it's also not going to be an excuse for anybody to say, I'm going to put in minimal work, and if it doesn't work, then the system's out to get me. We're not doing that. That's not part of the deal. It's not part of the contract. So yes, 2025, I do want to be successful at this. And I want all of you to be successful at whatever it is you decide you want to do. So that's why we're here. What is this, episode 247? 247 episodes of this freaking show. On top of everything else. Like, why not say that the goal is to get paid to do it? Like, why can we not say that? So I'm going to say it. I want you guys to say it. I want you guys to believe it. And I want you to put in that work if you do truly. I feel like I'm selling you an MLM. So now I need you guys to go down to the description and you're going to sign up for my free course. First one's free. Next one's $1,000 a class. There you go. I watched an Instagram reel today, and then I'll talk about some actual things. Or maybe I won't. Who knows? Because like Daredevil just started, but the viewer count keeps going up, so maybe I shouldn't stop. I was watching a reel today for somebody who I used to watch, and I used to watch her videos to learn how to make YouTube videos. Like, I think a lot of us, allegedly, except for one person, I almost said his name. I don't want to shit on him. From what I hear, he's actually a good dude. But a lot of us watch other, day one, I want to make a YouTube channel. I freaking, nowadays you probably go on TikTok, but you probably go on YouTube. How do I make a YouTube channel? What's the best camera for YouTube? What's the best mic? You do all that kind of stuff, right? And there's this one girl I used to watch in my like roster of people I would watch for that kind of stuff. And today she just like dropped like a crying video, like a crying video, like unrelated to like anything content creation. Like it was just about her life. And it also, I don't want to say it was like a negative thing. It was just like a random crying video. To be honest, I feel like she knows she gets more interactions and more clicks when she cries in a video because people are like, oh no, what happened? Like when people do like thumbnails where they're just like, I can't believe I did that, or, whatever. Which maybe I did that by the title. I don't know. But that she posted a video, her crying in her car and crying in the bedroom, crying in the street. It was fucking bizarre. Anyway, I say all that because she got to full-time YouTuber. She got to where she is today by teaching stuff, and then all of a sudden like switched up and just turned into like an influencer where she doesn't really teach stuff. And I was like, that's kind of weird. That seems very pyramid scheme-ish to like start off as a YouTube channel that, and I guess I'll get to a second point on that, but it seems weird to me to get up to start off doing YouTube, teaching people how to do YouTube. And then once you make enough money, you're like, I don't do that anymore. But you're like growing as you're doing it. I don't know, if to me that feels very, very snake oil salesman. Like you sell people a dream, but that's not what you want to do. You just know I could probably grow on YouTube doing it. That's what it feels like. However, there's people that, they're just like, I'm tired of talking about that, which is fine too. That's fine too. There's plenty of people that you start doing YouTube on a topic, you switch it up because you're just like, I'm tired of talking about that. So I can see both sides easily. But ultimately I like doing this. I like talking about these things with you guys. I like talking about stuff that doesn't necessarily do well in the algorithm. Talking about the stock market in relation to Hasbro toys. Hasbro toys doesn't really perform very well, but I like fucking talking about it. And I feel like a lot of you guys that show up all the time, you like hearing about it because it's interesting. And if it's interesting to at least one of you guys, it's interesting to me. I'll keep talking about it. So we'll talk about some box office stuff today as well, going into the weekend. And we'll scroll through some topics. But let me catch up on the chat. You guys are saying hi to each other. Yep. No, you're the best. You're the best. Yes, it's Thursday. You got knocked out by McFarlane toy smugglers. I want you to be successful, and I'll do my damnedest to help you achieve your goal, bro. No, I want you guys to be successful too. I do. That's why a lot of you guys, I've fucking Dave. A lot of you guys, we have all talked to each other about what can I do better? What do you suggest? How, X, Y, and Z. Hey, I think in this one video we did blank, and I think that's helped a lot of us improve, and I think we should all continue to do that, give each other feedback, not in a pyramid scheme type of way. I'm not gonna tell you to join my group for 99. I mean, if you want to join channel memberships, you can. That just supports the channel, not promising you that I'm gonna make you a millionaire. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. By the way, I don't forget to tell you guys on purpose. It's in the community tab on YouTube, but I'll remind you guys. I'll try to do my best to remind you guys on a regular basis. Those of you that are above the 99-cent tier for the memberships, you guys have like an ongoing discount on the website too. So like if you do want merch at a discount, you can do that. And like I said, if the tariff thing, sorry, Dave, if the tariff thing comes up and I can't charge those low prices anymore, I'll disable the store. I'll disable that tier, or I'll come up with a different perk for that tier. But I just feel like I should let you guys know that, because I don't ever tell you guys out loud, even though it's in the community tab as a reminder. So yeah, sometimes people, I keep doing this. Like I said the other day, when I hover my mouse over like your text, not you, Dave, but anybody's text to hit add to broadcast, the timestamp shows up. So sometimes when you guys hear me like struggling to read something at the beginning, it's because like I'll start reading it, and as I'm reading it, all of a sudden like timestamp pulls up, and I'm trying to read through like the time because it's like transparent. So maybe what I could do, I can click on your icon. No, it does the same thing. Maybe I'll read the comment first and then show it, or maybe I'll only show it because you guys are right here anyway. So maybe I'll just show it if I want to like really, really highlight something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyway, where was your, sorry. Sometimes people are genuine about crashing personally, sharing the real side of them. And some do that for sympathy, reactions, and subs. Yes. It's like, remember there was that running joke on TikTok and stuff for a while, where like somebody ran to a room and like set up the camera and then backed away, and then this was like crying, and then like the caption like the worst day of my life, but like they set up the camera and everything was good. Yeah. And I've had moments where I'm like, I really want to record this. This is like my gut reaction. But even in doing that, it doesn't feel genuine at times. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. Tony said, I like hearing about stocks and toys. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I like talking about it. Love talking about it. And I feel like, a lot, not everybody's going to like talking about that kind of stuff. Just like in the real world, like a car YouTube channel, talking about stocks of like a car company isn't going to do the best views. Like it's kind of boring if that's not what you're into. I just want to know how fast the car goes. A video about how the stock performance of Ford is doing, may not be that interesting. But I do feel like at the same time, it's important because if you're supporting a company, you're supporting a line, maybe you buy a little extra from them and you tell your friends to, if they're not performing very well. Or maybe you're like, I could afford to skip that because they're 20% up year over year. Who knows? Who knows? But I just think, considering that we're spending money, like spending like $300 on a HasLab, knowing how the company's doing and their vision for action figure collecting, I feel like that kind of is important. And I'm glad some of you guys think that too. But sorry, Dave, 30 minutes. I haven't talked about tariffs for Four Horsemen or the Four Horsemen Dragon. I broke that. Millennium in the house. Good to see you, Rex. My nose got like so stuffy all of a sudden. I'm sorry. What When you get time, check your messages. You're going to freak out, bro. Well, let's check them right now. Did you message me on the Nerd Affiliated Instagram? Let's take a look. Or do you message me on HeyArcher? Was it HeyArcher you messaged me on? Let me pull that up. In the meantime, let's see. I have to log into a whole different thing. Sorry, guys. Bear with me for a second. HeyArcher, cool. I have too many Instagrams. Way too many Instagrams. And not like in a showing off kind of way. I continue to try to beat the algorithm. And in doing so, I make more work for myself. All right, let's see. It's loading. It's going slow. Rex sent a photo. Oh, that's sick. How can I show this? Can I do a screenshot? Because wait, do you want me to show? I didn't even ask you that question. You let me know if you want me to show that, and then I go over show it if anything. But that looks sick. That looks sick. Again, Rex is freaking the man when it comes to this. The absolute man. Okay, I think I figured out what I could do. Yeah. All right, yeah. So let me know if you want me to show people, I will do that. In the meantime, I will do my plugs for the evening. We of course have Nerd Affiliated on Instagram. I don't know what's going on with my icon over there. But Nerd Affiliated on Instagram, that's where I'll post a lot of news, a lot of updates, all that fun stuff. A lot of memes. So make sure you give us a follow there. As Dave pointed out, we have the Real Nerdbusters as well. So if you do want to see the Ghostbuster side of things, you can always visit us over at the Real Nerdbusters, which I keep forgetting to put in this thing here because that would make sense. I don't know why I don't do that. And it is also nerdaffiliated.com. So if you want to get some merch, you want to see some cool nerdy photos, see the Ghostbuster stuff, you can of course click over there. And then what is up, nerds? It's me. What am I doing? See, I got to work on my website. There's a foot on the screen. I need to work on my website. I was looking for this. If you're into the Ghostbuster side of things, toolsandtalentprops.com. Use code HeyArcher for 15% off checkout. Get yourself some cool mods for your Proton Pack. And that's what was here on the screen that now you're seeing an ad for is my Proton Pack video. Or the hose video. That was the latest one. So there you go. There you go. And this is what Rex sent me. Cheers to you, Rex.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Sick. Sick. Even just the textures. I don't even know how you do that. I don't know how you can print it and keep those different textures as you're making it. For a second, I was thinking, is Greedo blue? Or Greedo's green? I don't know why I'm forgetting that. Solo. But that looks sick. Rex is always doing some demonic stuff, man. Like it's the way that those things come out. I don't understand how you can do it other than black magic. I don't understand. But I'm glad that you're here doing the damn thing. I am glad. All right, let's talk some nerd shop. It's already 9:16. I do want to watch Daredevil at some point, so we'll cover a couple topics. If I end up going over, I'll just watch Daredevil in the morning. But I'm gonna start. Actually, I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna start with this. I'm colorblind. I hope he's green. let's let me make sure. Let me make sure. Greedo is green. I almost said green. I guess he's a Greedo would be uh I guess what color would that be? It's a mixture of greens and blues. Um it's not a teal. And in the toys it's bluish green. And then this is definitely an edited photo. I guess a bluish green would be the answer. Aqua. There you go. Aqua's a teal. Thank you. I almost said teal, but I thought that was wrong. I wasn't sure. I'm glad you guys are adults here and you can confirm these answers for me. I'm glad you guys are here to keep me in line because otherwise I'd mess up. Yeah, teal but darker. Yeah, let's look at aqua but darker. That would be it for me. Crayola 64. That's, I mean, I don't think you can get more specific than that, to be honest. Crayola 64. Okay, so I'm going to start off with box office for a second. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with box office, and I'm going to do a little rant. If you guys don't mind. I'm going to do a little rant. So there's a movie coming out. I'm going to say little movie. It's little movie in the sense of scale relative to the field of what we've been used to. But not little movie in the realm of the players involved, if that makes sense. There you go, Henry Resilient. I was just talking about you earlier. I'm trying to be like you. What was it was like, you know, when they have the lines of like, oh man, there's this new series I just saw on TikTok. I wish I saved it. It was like this black woman stopping white people to be like, if a black person says this to you, what do they mean? And one that was in a different series, but would apply, is what does it mean when a black person says to you, I'm trying to be like you? I'm trying to be like you. Why don't you guys put your answers in the comments? We'll see what you guys think. I'm trying to be like you. But if you were in front of me, I'd be like hitting your chest or like hitting your arm or something. Trying to be like you, man. Trying to be like you. Trying to be like you, big bro. Big bruh. Actually, I'm trying to be like Henry and end up going to the Legend of the White Dragon premiere. That's my goal. Be red carpet next to Henry. That'd be fun. Exactly. Corey with the win. Interesting. The two non-black people are on the page that I'm on. Henry, the other black guy in the room, is saying sneak diss. I could see that. You know, I guess it would depend. I guess I'm trying to be like you, big bro. I'm trying to be like you. I guess it would depend in context as to the relationship of the people, right? So like let's say I mean I can't really relate, but it's the only thing I could think of. Let's say you grew up in a small town, you leave the small town, like a Hallmark movie, you leave the small town, you become big leagues in like Chicago or New York City or whatever, and then you go back to the small town and like the guy who used to pick on you in high school is like, I don't know, working at the car wash or something. And he sees you pull up in like a Maserati and he's like, oh, I'm trying to be like you, big bro. Like, sneak this. But I think if it was like your friend or like your uncle or like somebody that you're older with that like grew up watching you and they're like, oh, I'm trying to be like you, like, I think that's more respect. I would think. What's up, Dre? Good to see you. Okay, you said the same thing. It's all about who says it and how good you know the person saying it. Yes. Okay, so we're on the same page. And yes, Legacy of the White Dragon premiere 2027. What do you think we get first? GTA 6, GTA 7, or Legend of the White Dragon? Or what do you think comes in last? Might be the bigger question. Am I pitching the Kevin Hart, The Rock movie? I might be. I feel like there's real potential for they've never done this before, but I feel like there's real potential out there for Kevin Hart and The Rock to make a movie together. I think there's a chance. I think they may be successful at it. There's a chance. GTA 6 comes first, GTA first. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, so there's a little movie coming out this weekend. And like I said, it's yeah. But I'm wondering what the excuse is going to be for that. I want to do you guys a solid. I'm putting it for free on YouTube. There's a little movie coming out, and I'm saying little movie in terms of scale relative to the field. And when I even say that, I'm saying relative to like popularity of what's out at the moment. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because the players in this movie are anything but little movie status. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. Greatly hope I'm wrong. The movie is Sinners. I actually thought Sinners was coming out last weekend. Sinners comes out this weekend. Ryan Coogler, you may know him from Black Panther, little movie. Sinners comes out this week, starring Michael B. Jordan, up and coming actor. You may know him from movies such as Hardball, Black Panther, Creed, Creed 2, things like that. Things like that. So, I have concerns around this movie. Patrick in the house, good to see you. I have concerns around this movie. And my concern is we are not, as a community of movie fans, we are not promoting this movie enough. And I think as I've watched interviews with Ryan Coogler talk about this movie, and as I've heard him explain the different ways he's filmed this movie, I don't think it's getting enough hype. And I think this movie needs way more hype than it's getting. I could be wrong. Henry says hella hype. So maybe there's a side of the internet that I'm just not seeing in my algorithm promoting this movie. Right now, there's only 27,000 followers on Instagram to this movie. In hearing Ryan Coogler talk about this movie, I won't be able to do it this weekend, but I have felt the need to like drive down to New York City and watch it on actual like film reel. And he did a whole video for Forbes. I think it was Forbes or Kodak. It makes more sense to be Kodak, where he explained how he shot the film and the best ways to view it. Ultimately, seeing it in a seeing it in a regular theater is fine. Seeing it in IMAX is fine, but the aspect ratios and the type of theater you go to will give you a different experience, allegedly. Either way, I'm like, I feel like I need to see this film. I do feel like I need to see it. Now, I've got a big issue with the internet right now and with us as creators when it comes to this movie. And it has nothing to do with us talking about the movie. My issue is with content over everything. Content over basic fucking principles. I DM'd a popular podcast today, and I was like, "You're a fucking asshole." I was like, "You're an asshole." What? Nobody that we're friends with, by the way. Um, and I was like, you got a chance to get an early screening of this movie. Ryan, Michael, and everybody involved in the movie is telling you to go into the movie knowing zero. Takes place in the South, takes place in a black community. Maybe there's some racist shit going on. It gets hella bloody and it turns into a murder stuff real fast. And there's some sort of evil shit happening. Even says dance with the devil. That's as much as they want you to know going into the movie. And there are assholes right now on the internet who just want to get clicks for saying, I got the review, I'm dropping the review, and they're ruining plot points to the movie that could actually be fun. God forbid we have fun. They're dropping plot points to the movie that could actually be fun if you didn't know anything going into this movie. And this one podcast I messaged was like, well, it's in the trailer, and they sent me a screenshot of the trailer. And I was like, do you realize how many people are, and they also said, it's not my fault you're not keeping up with the news. And I was like, you know how many people go through a trailer and pause it repeatedly to see what Easter eggs they can find in a movie? Do you know how many people do that? Literally the only ones that freaking do this shit are the only ones that will do that. Everybody else sees trailers surface level and is like, is it interesting or not? I'll go see it. And with this movie in particular, people are apparently going to be best served if they go in not knowing anything about the movie. And for the sake of a couple hundred likes on Instagram, in their review have to post what the real plot of the movie is. F you. F you. F you. Sorry. And you guys know, like, I when it comes to spoilers, I have my own internal moral rules around it. I don't dance around it ever. I'm pretty adamant about it. I feel like we should respect, in this day and age, especially with TV, at least a 48 hour if we're really trying to stretch it. But like, giving away a major plot point to a movie in your review before the movie's even out, you can't even watch it right now unless you got an early screening, is a dick move. Is an absolute dick move. And I'm encouraging everybody that when you see your favorite podcast, content, anybody, if you see somebody online that you respect as a source for like reviews and movies and stuff, if you see them posting spoilers out of nowhere for the sake of views, just unfollow them. It's the only way people are going to understand that we cannot keep doing this. If like, if like what was it? Entertainment Tonight, I think, or that probably wouldn't be a good example. If like CNN, I guess I'm trying to think of an outlet that like doesn't only do entertainment. If like CNN, like I remember, I'll just give you an exact example. Sorry. The exact example was my nerd affiliated Instagram account and feed is primarily like big Hollywood box office or big influencer type people. Like, I follow some of you on my nerd affiliated page. I don't follow everybody because I don't want my feed on nerd affiliated and my feed on HeyArcher and my feed on Real Nerdbusters to be the same. I've said this before. I'll keep saying it. But like Entertainment Tonight was like the day before the early screenings of Deadpool and Wolverine was like, oh, check out this group photo from behind the scenes of Deadpool and Wolverine. And it was all the cameo people taking a photo together in the cave. And I was like, Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I think the caption was even like blank person. I'll leave. I won't even say it just in case. They were like blank person was talking about how it felt to be back in the Marvel universe in this scene. And I was like, are you, why? 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 And I get it. It's for a lot of us, it's what we do to try to like blow up. You gotta, if people are talking about it, you gotta somehow ride the wave. But there are certain lines that we cannot cross. And I feel like ruining a plot point for a movie like Sinners is like ruining a point for like The Sixth Sense. Going into it, you know, the major plot point of the movie, not, or you know, a point. I'm trying to think of a better example. Okay, if you haven't seen trailers to this movie, then you probably weren't going to see this movie anyway. So I'm gonna say it. You guys remember the Josh Hartnett M. Night Shyamalan movie that came out? Was it 2 years ago? When he takes his daughter to like a Taylor Swift type concert, and all of a sudden the cops like show up and like shut down all the entrances to the concert. So you see that happening in the trailer, and you're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then Josh Hartnett asks somebody, "Hey, why are all the feds here?" And they're not telling anybody they're shutting down the concert, but um, you know what's happening. And the person says, "Oh, they got an anonymous tip that a trap. Thank you. They got an anonymous tip that like this serial killer they're hunting for is at this concert right now." And Josh Hartnett's like, "Oh, cool, right?" So in the trailer, they show you that Josh Hartnett is the serial killer. He's the one that's trapped, and the feds are like surrounding the place. It would be cool if you went to that movie not knowing that, but that happens so early in the movie that M. Night Shyamalan was like, "That's not a big deal. I'm fine with you knowing that because you're not going to know what happens down the road in the movie." So that makes sense. In this one, I feel like people are giving away an actual crucial part of a potential twist in the end of the movie for the sake of a review and a heart. And it has to stop. It really has to stop. And I feel like the only way people are going to get it is if you unfollow, because here's the other thing too. What people may not realize: the algorithm and the bots or whatever, all they see is interactions. It's not necessarily, is it a positive or negative? All they see are interactions. So, for example, I was going to do this the other day, and I was like, whatever. People are boycotting Target, which I completely get, have no issues with. As a toy hunter, I'm not going to bullshit you. I've been going to Target from time to time to try to get stuff, but people are boycotting Target for a valid reason. I'm for the boycott. What people are doing though is when Target makes a post on TikTok, they're going into the comments and they're commenting, "Going to Costco. Thanks for reminding me I need to go to Costco, blah, blah, blah." But what's happening is so many people are in the comments that the algorithm thinks people like this and is pushing the Target content more. Hence kind of doing the reverse. Because now they're going to get more ad rev. Now they're going to get more eyes. Maybe a person who didn't have Target in their feed before now has Target in their feed, because so many people are commenting negative comments that is just seeing the interactions, therefore pushing it. So instead of going into a comment section to be like, "Why are you doing this?" just unfollow. If it's that important to you. If it's not that important to you, then sure. "Why'd you do this?" Leave a comment, move on. Maybe they serve you better for something else. But all that being said, if you get a chance, go see his movie this weekend. I really want to. I'll try my best. If I can, I can. Now, going to box office, and then I'll get to the comment section. I'm giving it a follow. I don't know. I'm not following it. Going over to box office, the alleged budget for the movie is 90 mil. Therefore, needing 180, going by the rule of two. It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one. It is possible. It is possible. You know, looking over here, I'm trying to find a movie without an established fan base, but it's hard. That has a good opening weekend. Because here's the thing too, it's getting great reviews already as far as Rotten Tomatoes, but we'll see. You know what? I'm going to actually, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. I'm going to Fandango right now, and I'm going to see Boston. Massachusetts. Friday. All right, let's share screen. $11 a.m. All right, wide open. I don't know where AMC Causeway is, so why don't I do? Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, usually there's an option where like you click on it and it tells you just like the seats that are open. IMAX 6:30. We're gonna go Friday. This one is Danvers, Massachusetts. 7:15. A lot open. Let me look for Boston proper. Woburn, Somerville. Cambridge is pretty. I don't know if that's a really popular theater though. Let's go. AMC Boston. This is probably like the more popular theater. 7:15. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see. Can they show me the next day? Or that was 7:15. IMAX. Let's look at Saturday. Go back down. Boston Commons. 7:15. Not bad again. Okay. Okay. So I hope that it picks up. But we'll see. People who ruin a movie like that clearly have never worked in the film industry and don't understand the harm it does, not just to the film, but all the people that work on it. Don't include the promotional budget in the final costs. Don't include the promotional budget. Are you saying don't use like the rule of two that I do? Is that what you mean? I really do. My one of my goals this year is I really want to have somebody on the podcast that is in the film industry on the production side / business side to see how much weight is actually in the rule of two. Insert your Star Wars jokes now. Because that's how universally, that's how us creators, influencers, podcasters, that's how we usually determine success of a movie. Budget times 2, which is like the marketing, is how we determine if it was successful or not. So regular, Dave, regular. Patrick said, I don't see people reserving seats out here days ahead like they used to, which is interesting because I feel like in Florida, Texas, I've seen more people talk about sold out shows in those two states, especially like coming out of the pandemic, than I have up here. I'm in the film industry, but I do makeup. Hey, that's awesome. That counts. I love that. I didn't know that about you. That's fantastic. So are you saying that like rule of two doesn't really hold like that? Would you say that that's true or not true? That's good to hear. Awesome. You should come on the show one day. Hit me up on Instagram. We'd love to talk about that. I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. Let me see if I missed any other comments. Thank you for letting me know, Dave or Dre. They did it for the clout. Yeah. Spoiler: Batman shows up and gets kidnapped by Diddy. I'd watch that movie. It'll spread word of mouth. Yeah. He needs more promoting. Yeah. You know me. I'm gonna watch this with no trailers. Yeah. I hope nobody ruins it. I hope nobody ruins it. I don't know what happens in the movie. I don't know. I still don't know major plot points in the movie, but what I did see in that review, I feel like if people saw that, it would force them into what I think is inevitable. And I've talked about this before. Straight to digital is the future. It cannot be stopped. Just like AI, it cannot be stopped. Both the basketball player and the computer software. AI cannot be stopped. So, movies doing exclusively in theaters, to me, is extremely archaic. Extremely archaic. And there's no point. With exception. In a movie like Sinners, I think there's value to seeing it in theaters, 1000%. But I think a movie like that should have also had a simultaneous release at home. And then if you choose to see it in theaters, you can. So like if Sinners was, you have to pay to watch it, I'm so interested in that movie, I would pay to watch it at home. And if I enjoyed it that much, I would go see it in theaters. So I feel like at this point, if you're a movie buff and you don't have decent sound or decent TV, I don't know what you're doing. I'm not saying that my setup replicates a theater, but it's good enough for me where I don't feel the need to go to a theater unless I really am a fan of how the movie was done. Dune 2, I was happy I saw it in theaters. If I saw it at home, I would have been just as happy, to be honest. But a movie like Dragon Ball Z Broly, I loved seeing that in theaters. That was great. I don't know. My perception could be skewed. Now, I do want to kind of solidify that point. I do want to look at some numbers. And I'm going to quickly touch on another point. Let me catch up on the comments real quick. Sorry. We'll do, yeah, awesome. Henry, disagree. And Tony says the rule of two works and is a good basis, but normally a promotion budget is a wash and doesn't need to be earned back. All right, good to know. That is good to know. Good to know. Because here's the thing too, right? And maybe you can let me know if you want to save this for, you coming on the show one day, you let me know. There are a lot of movies that have been profitable according to the rule of two that we do not get sequels for. So there is, I'm completely willing to entertain the idea that the rule of two is not a sure shot thing. I am fine with that. because I've seen those examples where a movie actually does well and it's a one and done. And then there's ones that like do well that are critically hated and we keep getting sequels because they keep getting profitable, in my eyes, to the rule of two. So to end this TED talk on movies, um, I feel like there are movies that don't need to be in theaters. I feel like that more movies need to be budgeted to the extent that they factor in a home release being an option for people to see this movie for the sake of getting more eyes on the movie. For example, The Working Man, $15 million opening. Right now, according to Rule of Two, it's only $1 million in the hole. So, was it a big loss to do it in theaters? Probably not. Novocaine, not so much. According to Rule of Two, almost 2.5 in the hole. Opened up at $8 million. Budget 36. So movies where the budget is like so low because they don't really expect a big return, just do it a home release. And if anything, simultaneous theater. Like there's no need. To me, there's no need. And the one that I will always go to, actually there's two. There's two where I say it doesn't matter. Captain Marvel's one. We all are on the same page here. We're all on the same page. Captain Marvel performed the way it did because it was the movie coming out before Endgame, and they advertised the movie as you need to see it to understand what's going to happen in Endgame. We are all in agreement here. It made $827 million in profits. We ended up getting a second one, of course, but an absolute shitty movie. 827. And then my number one is Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw profited $360 million, allegedly. We never got a sequel to it. So for as much shit as we get this movie, it still performed very well, but we didn't get a sequel to it. So maybe at times they pay attention, maybe they don't. My right nostril is just sealed. Absolutely sealed up. You get more release song in theater. Did you mean releasing in theater? It can spread like wildfire it can spread like wildfire, word of mouth, extending its theater run. If it fizzles out by week 3, then boom, digital. So here's why I think it could work. Let's look at something like Last of Us. Last of Us, game changing, and not everything's gonna be game changer, but something like Last of Us is big enough that in a way they could have done a theatrical part 2, and they probably would have done well, but they keep it on streaming. Dre says, I agree with you, Henry. I hope this movie spreads by word of mouth. Yeah. The theater experience is still strong, but it's the pricing and current economy that I think hurts it. Also, the pandemic made everyone get lazy and rely on streaming. For sure. For sure. On all of that. I just think that there's no, in my time off, I have very little free time to sit down and do nothing productive. And taking the time to go to a movie, especially with the 30-minute trailer bullshit, is like a stretch. And with the prices of movies, I'm not trying to go to a movie and have a kid yelling behind me about whatever, or somebody on their phone to the right and left of me, and all this stuff. I just don't feel like doing it. So in a way, I'm kind of lazy. Agreed. But there are some where I'm like, okay, I can see there's a value here. There's a value add in going to see it in theaters. Sinners, to me, there's going to be a value add seeing it in theaters. So I'm willing to try to take the time out to go see it. But aside from that, I think Sinners at a home release would have still been very entertaining to me. Worldwide releases also affects the chance for sequels, for sure. But a lot of these actually do better overseas than they do in domestic. Casual nerd Josh in the house, good to see you. Dre wants Henry on the show. There you go. Because Hobbs and Shaw was sued after the fact if it's the film immediately thinking of it. There was an issue between Vin Diesel and The Rock when it came to that. So that would make sense. And I may have talked about that before too, where I was like, it took a lot to get that movie to even come into existence because The Rock was being an asshole like he's known to be. So I could see that. Go midweek, go midweek, and you got no annoying kids in the theater. I have a movie theater in the mall across the street. Yeah, I get it, dude. Trust me, I get it. I get it. But especially doing YouTube and wanting to, maybe it's my own personal issue. It could be my own personal issue. But when I look at the numbers, I don't think what's happening to the theaters right now is an only me reason. I think a lot of people share the sentiment that if I'm gonna take my time to go to a theater, not only does it have to be worth it in the sense that it's got to be really good, but I need to feel like I'm really missing out on a cultural event by not going to the theater. And very few movies can pull that kind of weight. For youngsters, Minecraft, Super Mario Brothers, Minions, those are all movies that like the 18 to 25 sees those as cultural events I got to go see because they grew up on that stuff. Whereas, going to see Dune 2, unless they're a movie head, 18 to 25 probably doesn't care, but the 25 and up cares about it and can appreciate it in theaters. But like, how many people are like, oh, I want to go see Monkey Man in theaters? It wasn't a bad movie. But like a movie like that, like what's the point of being in theaters? To you really think you're going to be up? But then again, who knows? Like if I didn't think Minecraft would do as crazy as it did, but it's doing great. It's doing great. Do you think the economy or interest is killing theaters? I give it to more interest than I give it to economy. I would probably speak different if I had kids. I'll be honest, going to the movies is an experience and pricey trip for me and the family. I pay 4 people, go to the theater, buy snacks, and driving to a good theater. Yeah. I think a lot of people feel that way. And I feel like enough people don't talk about that when they're like, I don't know why theaters are failing. Some people don't even think about the theater. Some people don't think about the theater until TikTok tells them there's a cultural thing happening. You need to go see this movie. So there's that. It's already 9:56. So there's one last thing I want to talk about. I just thought it was interesting. I commented on the video today. I actually watched the whole thing. And it's going to be tariff related. I'm sorry. But it's tariff and Star Wars related. It's Star Wars theory. And, I've been talking a lot about the tariff stuff, cost of things going up and all of that. And Star Wars Theory dropped this video today about apparently somebody called Theory Sabers a scam. I'm exposed by Mr. Who's the Boss. I don't know who's the boss, but apparently 22 million subscribers, friends of Mr. Beast. Apparently it's a big deal. There's a lot of people on the internet who I don't know who are big deals. Actually, when I used to work at the retail store, a huge YouTuber came into the store. I had no idea who it was. I'm not going to bullshit you. I knew he was a big deal because looking at him and looking at his wife, it didn't make sense. Did not make sense. And when he left, I told an intern that was working at my store, I feel like that guy must be famous or something. And he goes, I knew it. And he went on his phone and he showed me, and I was like, oh, okay. It is somebody famous. And he had millions of subscribers. I wish I could remember. Some scientist guy. Not like Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's like some bald white guy. It's like 6'4". So I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, it makes sense. But again, he's so huge and I had no idea who he was. So this who's the boss person, I have no idea who they are. Apparently Theory didn't know who they were either. But they did a video about Theory sabers. And oh, sorry, damn, I take for granted my single person ticket. Yeah, that's for sure. $100, yeah. We are paying so much for streaming monthly fees. Wow, first voice break of the evening. We're paying so much for streaming monthly fees. Who can afford a movie? Yeah. Okay, I'll get to the rest of those after. So they did this video on Theory. Here is where this all ties in. As I click through, he's going to start reviewing the saber. And Theory is going to talk a lot through what's happening. But I'm just going to play it through. I'm going to play through. Not the whole thing from this point forward. And I'll talk about it after.
Not again. I actually like this. This is a good product for like...
If you don't know, Star Wars Theory makes his own lightsabers now and sells them, goes to shows, has a team now in the United States, is building a warehouse in the United States. He's going to be stashing the sabers there. So when he goes to shows, they're not going in and out of customs repeatedly. They're just going out.
A very specific kind of person.
Thank you.
But I'm doing a little bit of digging on the side, and it seems like Theory Sabers isn't really making their own sabers. They're buying them from a Chinese company called TXQ. They're adding their own packaging, their own sounds,
Right.
but then they're selling them at like twice the price, which, I mean...
Not entirely true, but we're going to continue.
They're pretty great sounds. And the sabers also come with tons of custom-made songs specifically baked into them. But does that not kind of take a...
Don't wait in line. Beat the deadline with tax expert.
Sorry. I'm not using my my premium account here. But you can see where this is going. The person's calling out Theory on you don't make them. You actually don't make them. Let me go back 10 seconds. Oops, sorry.
They're pretty great sounds. And the sabers also come with tons of custom-made songs specifically baked into them. But does that not kind of take away from the whole point of it being a more affordable alternative to something? And what I particularly don't...
I've been in the community a long time, for years, and I know what's out there. I used to be a big customer of a lot of other companies, some of which I've never even shown online because I wasn't too fond of their products. And I know that the impact that my channel has, so I just didn't make a video. But I've purchased from, needless to say, pretty much everybody over the years. Tens of thousands of dollars for my own collection. And while being offered tons of free sabers, I declined. I always wanted to do my review my way. And I know that when you get something for free, you're more inclined to do a positive review. Or, you know, go easy, go be a little lenient. I didn't want to do that. You know, biggest Star Wars YouTuber, I was already making enough money, and I didn't want to lose my integrity by just kind of getting a free saber and getting some money to give a review. I wanted to buy my own, and my review would be my review. You know, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, you're going to see that. And it's the same thing goes with Lucasfilm product. Whether it's, you know, the abysmal, like comically large Hasbro stuff, which made in China, or it's, you know, the master replicas that was #1 when George was creating stuff, which also made in China. So here's a artist proof Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi. There's only a few of these in the world. It cost me like $3,000. 2002 master replicas made in China. Here I am in my storage, grabbing one of the boxes. What do we have? Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber, made in China. I always give a fair review of everything that I review on the channel because I always want to be authentic. So let's go ahead and continue here.
Don't like is that it doesn't look like Theory is making it clear that they're doing this.
Doing what? The same thing that every single company in the world does? Every multi-billion-dollar company, including Disney, does, by having a manufacturer who specializes in creating high-quality products overseas, creating the products themselves, but to then spin it in such a disingenuous way that I'm just scamming my audience and having this poorly made and just slapping my name on it, something in China in some little dingy warehouse. I think that's just really unprofessional to spin that narrative. And it's frankly damaging to a business that is doing the literal opposite of that.
Like, so many customer reviews on the site are from people who think Theory is actually manufacturing these.
What do you mean tons of reviews? Bro shows literally one
Okay, so you guys can watch the whole thing. It's 46 minutes. This reaction is probably going to be 46 minutes too. I don't know. But I found this really interesting from the business side of it. You guys know I like that. Because right now, I feel like it's really, because of the tariff thing, people are now seeing the other side of the curtain. Kayfabe has officially been broken temporarily. I think it will go back to normal. But I think kayfabe has been broken temporarily. What is kayfabe? In wrestling, we all know wrestling's fake. I don't think people still debate that. If you do, you're probably under the age of 13. But I feel like generally we all understand wrestling's fake. We are all under the universal rule that even though we know it's fake, we don't acknowledge it's fake. And when you're watching wrestling, they also acknowledge it's not fake. If you break kayfabe, you are literally taking the user, the viewer, out of the experience by reminding them this is all fake. FYI, fake. You can't do that. You'd never break kayfabe. And it's funny, one of the running jokes is like Iron Sheik hasn't broken kayfabe since like 1973 and took it to the grave. Like he never broke character. So in the world of business, kayfabe has existed where if a company says I make blank, everybody assumes they actually make blank. They do the whole thing. And that's not the case. And a lot of people are starting to realize that. And they're doing it because now on TikTok, Chinese influencers are posting, hey, you know those Louis Vuitton shoes you spent $5,000 on? It's really a $10 shoe. Order from this company, it's the same shoe. Oh, those Lululemon leggings you spent $100 on? Actually, it's from this company here. You spend 10 minutes or you spend $10, you get the same leggings. They're just breaking kayfabe on TikTok, putting everybody on blast. And my reaction to this video, and I even commented here, is it's not at the top because it's not my. Okay, here. Theory explaining import manufacturing principles wasn't on my 2025 bingo card. That's true. Where was my other one? Here it is. I think people assumed you were somehow making the sabers with your own factories. It's popular now to put companies on blast for charging markups. Ultimately, I doubt your fan base is going to take that video to heart and boycott your sabers. It's understood that buying from you helps you out. I think that somebody like Theory Sabers, Star Wars Theory, you guys know I critique him whenever I feel it fits. If I have an issue with something he's saying or doing, I call it out. I feel like with this scenario, even though that guy has 2 million whatever subscribers, I feel like that guy in the realm of lightsabers is not big enough to knock Theory off his game. And I feel like if I was to give Theory any kind of like advice with this one, it's like, dude, if you want to acknowledge that review exists, by all means go for it. Maybe that creator will see this and somehow there's another back and forth and that helps you grow. But you shouldn't feel threatened by that. If anything, you should be like, hey guys, like he said in the video, he was like, hey, I've never said I make them. I've obviously partnered with somebody else. But hey, you could buy it directly, or if you buy it from me, not only am I giving you better customer service, I'm giving you better packaging. I'm making it safer to travel because I'm giving it, a cool case. You're getting unique sound fonts and you help the channel out. Done. Because I don't think people watching Star Wars Theory with 3 million subscribers are going to say, oh shit, he's been scamming me this whole time. Damn. I'm gonna start buying my lightsabers from this other company. They might buy one or two. But I think if people really rock with you and you're upfront, like, hey guys, this is just, I'm giving you these extras. You can buy from me or not. 5-minute video, boom, we're done. We move on. Because even all of us that make our own merch, it's not like I have a factory that makes my own merch, like it's not how it is. So I feel like Theory made this, and I understand where he's coming from, considering how large that channel is, but I feel like he made it a bigger thing than it is. When he's already got his hardcore fan base, he's actually grown the fan base by embracing the people who hate Star Wars now into his fan base, which I don't like that he did that, but hey, it's working. I don't think this was needed. I don't think it needed to be what it was. But hey, it gives them a video to put out, 91,000 views. I can't really hate that either, So there's multiple sides to this thing. Before I get to the comments, there is one thing though I want to kind of highlight here. If I was talking to him or any other person that decides they want to make lightsabers, I don't know how many lightsabers anybody sells. I have no clue. Obviously you saw, tariffs aside, you can buy a high-end one for $300 that normally might cost you $1,000 at the next person. And people in the Star Wars lightsaber community, they are very aware you can buy these sabers from anybody. My concern, if we're looking at the business side of things, is what is the total addressable market for high-end lightsabers? Like, how many nerds out there, as a nerd, how many nerds out there are willing to say, I'm going to spend $300, $400, $500 on a lightsaber multiple times? And they're going to say multiple times, enough times to justify scaling the business up to the point of a warehouse, a whole team, etc. That I don't know. I tend to be, when it comes to like putting up money for something business wise, I tend to be more on the conservative side of things. So that's kind of the angle I would take. But at the same time, I don't know what that total addressable market is. And I don't know if it's a smart move to say, I'm going to make a whole warehouse for these things because that's worth the price of admission. So we'll see. I like I said, I've had my issues with Theory. I also love Theory. It's on both sides of the fence here. Respect him. Did crazy shit. Continues to do crazy shit. I think this video was unnecessary to the extent he went into this video. I think we're in an interesting time period in our world where kayfabe is being broken. The drug dealers are literally telling you how to get the drugs yourself without going through your dealer. Or the suppliers are telling you how to get around your dealer, essentially. But I feel like ultimately, if you support Star Wars Theory and you've always wanted a lightsaber in a way you understand the assignment, I'm going to buy it from you to support you. Just like you choose to buy your shit through my affiliate link in the description because you know it does me a solid. Not because you're like, you think I actually make the shit that's in the affiliate links down below. If that makes sense. Let me catch up in the comments. And then we'll call it a day. If you would have told me Star Wars theory, tariffs, and Mr. Who's the Boss would be in the same sentence, I would have called you a time traveler. Yeah, I saw that video. Mr. Who's the Boss is a big tech reviewer. But that video came. Oh, but yeah, you mean to say, but yeah, that video came off weird. Praising a lightsaber and trashing Theory. Theory gets the sabers from China like everyone and then assembles mods and sort of customizes the sabers to be an awesome product. Who's the Boss was nitpicking in such a way. He was making Theory sound like a scammer. Theory has always been upfront about that. Yeah, it's. You're probably right. When Theory was showing that whole video and I was watching it, I felt like that guy did a disservice by also breaking kayfabe. But what he was saying wasn't like false in the sense that you could buy that saber cheaper somewhere else. Like I've seen other YouTubers that do lightsaber reviews say that. I feel like that's more detrimental. Like there are popular Star Wars channels and popular Star Wars influencers that have reviewed sabers, have reviewed Theory sabers, and have openly said, "Oh, this is exactly the same as this other saber I have. Slight variation, but I spend less money on this other saber." People have said that. I feel like that's worse than this guy who just does general reviews talking about Theory sabers. But he didn't do Theory a service by breaking kayfabe on where he gets it from. So I think this is an example of it's only a big deal because of the subscriber count of that person. It's not a big deal from their influence in the space we're talking about. Again, I don't know if that makes sense. I can always rephrase it. See here, Ultra. Apple doesn't advertise that they use Samsung screens in their phones. I feel like Who's the Boss is looking for engagement reaction by going negative. Theory came with receipts, yeah. Illusion, as Jim Cornette says. That's the other thing too. Every Apple phone has Samsung tech in it. I've known that for a long time. A lot of people have known that for a long time, and it doesn't matter to some people. It doesn't matter to me, and I'm an Apple whore. So I think this is a similar situation. Like, imagine that. Actually, Dave, I'm glad you said that. Imagine if Samsung came out and said, "Hey, just so you guys know, your iPhone is currently using Samsung tech screen. They're getting their rare earth magnets or their rare earth minerals from our factory." Like, imagine they said all that stuff. It wouldn't stop the Apple fans from still buying the Apple phone. And a Samsung phone is cheaper. So this guy saying, "Hey, if you like a Theory saber, buy it straight from the manufacturer for less." I don't think people are going to care enough to say, "I'm willing to forego my Theory saber experience for that." My opinion. I put the stats there. I don't like how he's going to all the cons in the States, and I've never seen him at a Canadian con, and he's Canadian. I thought he did one. I thought he did a vlog one day at one. I could be wrong. Even though he's Canadian, the warehouse and such are based in Florida, I believe. Yeah, he just opened that one. I might be wrong. He did. He plans to hit the Canadian cons eventually, though. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't start his own country. Yeah. Here's the other thing, too. Theory Theory went down the rabbit hole of the fandom menace and the rabbit hole of Red Pill. I think that was part of my, all of that is like reasons why I was having issues with him for a while. Is he went down the rabbit hole of, they're trying to make men look weak, Republicans the way to go, all this stuff. I've heard various people say they're not happy with the Canadian government, but I don't think it's to the extent that like he as a millionaire needs to be like F Canada when I'm basing my shit in Florida, like to me that's very extreme, my opinion. But I feel like he's been very red pill adjacent for a long time, at least in the last 2 years. And I also feel like Theory is big enough that I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. When he got platformed by the Ripper, whatever his name is, at MegaCon in Florida, I felt like they were taking advantage of Theory. Like, he doesn't need the geeks and gamers community. He's already big in his own lane. But I think they opened their arms as like, hey, it turns out we're not enemies. We're the same. And for whatever reason, he believed them. And now he's in with that space. And I don't think he ever needed to do that. And I don't think it's a good space to be in anyway. No pun intended. So, I think at his, where he is now, it ultimately, none of this matters. If the Theory Sabers line fails, he will still be doing fine. As long as Disney puts out Star Wars at least once a year, he'll be fine. He'll have stuff to talk about. And he still has those other channels too, like the gaming one, I think. Cobra Kai's ending, but he probably still has that going. I think he did a Harry Potter one. Theory's gonna be fine. He's gonna take a lot of losses financially, potentially, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine. So, if anything, he probably still got some more subscribers off that video. So, mood point. But yeah, I personally, even as a hardcore nerd, as much as I want a lightsaber, I cannot pull the trigger on something so expensive. As my chair cracks. But maybe I could be convinced if I become a billionaire at some point. Or start making money doing reviews on this stuff. Wait, he has big yellow letters with fire in his thumbnails too? Darn. Me or Theory? You talking about my thumbnail for the show? Am I missing something? Let me know. Let me know. But I think that's a wrap. I think that's a wrap for tonight's episode. I will be back tomorrow. I'm talking all weird today. If you guys oh, he does? Big yellow is fire. Did I miss it? Did I miss something? I'm not sure I get it. Patrick, elaborate. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be attempting the earlier time slot, and I'm excited for this. I don't think I'll have much to clip out today from this episode because there was a lot of ranting and us just talking, but maybe I will still be able to, I don't know. But it's I'm excited for this. I'm excited to go live more times during the week. I'm excited to see you guys more times during the week. And I think it's going to be better for the channel, better for us growing this community. And yeah, I want all of you to succeed as well. So my challenge to you, if you want to grow your channel, sign up for my course. It's only $300 a month. And no, if my challenge to all of you is set a goal. This year is a year. Try to achieve that goal. Go for it. Gloves, the kid gloves are off. Do it. And for this show, we're gonna try to go for 6:30, 7-ish, 3 days a week. HeyArcher Live, the fourth day, still at 8:15-ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated, and it's gonna remain HeyArcher Live. But I think I'm gonna change the intro. I talked about that last week. I don't know. I don't know. But hey, Daredevil, now I'm losing focus. There you go. Daredevil season finale has officially come out, so make sure you guys check that out. I debated doing a watch party for that, but I'd rather talk to you guys. Make sure you make plans to see Sinners. We need to support this movie. It has to be done. And I'm gonna try my best to go see it this weekend as well. But I will be back tomorrow. I will be back on Thursday, and I will be back hopefully on Friday. If I'm not, here's my thing: if I can't make the days during the week, I will do a weekend stream. But I'm gonna try to knock out four live streams a week. Are you with me? 6:30. Are you with me? Can we do it? I'm not fucking going anywhere. Let's do this. I would have yelled, but my wife's sleeping. Like, subscribe, talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. Hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I go live. I'm out of here.
Huh? What? Huh? More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer.
Yeah, come on, push a button. Push the goddamn button.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.